Good evening, and welcome to WANA Live, the reading series of the Writers Association of Northern Appalachia. I'm your host, Damian Dressick, and this is your other host,
Christina Fasonic. How are you this evening, Damian?
I am fine, thank you, Christina. How are things in Wheeling, West Virginia?
Well, it's rainy and it's gloomy. Tried to go swimming at the pool outside today and ended up getting rained out. And we wouldn't even come out of the water if the water wasn't so cold. But it was worth it to start off the sort of the kickoff of summer by taking a quick dip in the cement pond. So,
Okay, then. Rained out of the pool.
yeah. Is it
All
raining?
right, well, it drizzled. I'm not going to worry about it. We had to put the top down on the way to get ice cream.
Okay.
We didn't. We're a little,
Gotcha.
But I think we should kick off summer with perhaps a reading from Cate Marvin. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited that Cate agreed to come. She is the author of 4 books of poems, World's Tallest Disaster and Fragment of the Head of a Queen, which is one of my favorite books of poetry, both of which were published by Sarabande Books. Her third collection, Oracle, appeared from Norton in 2015. A recipient of a Whiting Award and a Guggenheim Fellowship, Marvin is a professor of English at the College of Staten Island, City University of New York. Her 4th book, Event Horizon, was published by Copper Canyon Press 2 days ago. She lives in southern Maine. So let's bring her on. That's some fresh work right there.
That's also a very long commute.
Yes, it is. But I've been teaching virtually. I did commute by airplane for a little while. So dedicated was I, but that won't be happening ever again.
So you're fully virtual from here on out.
Yeah, well, I think probably I would like to teach hybrid. Like come in and like teach online and come in, on occasion.
Yeah. A lot of people are doing that.
That would be ideal because it turns out I kind of like teaching online and it works for me.
Yeah, I love teaching online too. I think we're rare birds in that way, from what I hear.
Yeah. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. And you'll be reading from your new collection tonight, right?
Yes, this is my new book. It's called Event Horizon. It came out a couple days ago, and it's Copper Canyon was kind enough to publish it.
Super cool.
Excellent. All right, we are going to disappear, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I was just out in my yard gardening around this time of year. It's like something comes over me. I'm not a good gardener by any means, but I really like to dig things up and cut things down and basically just kind of destroy things mainly. Sometimes I plant things too. So, and I have a couple poems in my book that are about strong feelings that I developed towards certain plants, particularly flowers. And the first poem is called Against Daylilies. Parking lot perennial, predictable serial killer. Your gladness peoples the concrete corners of big box shops as you sit stalwart atop the gritty digs in which your tubers finger sad dirt for nutrients. Your orange mouths open their baby bird craws, suck up exhaust as shopping carts racket by windowless vans. I don't like how I dig you up again and again, but fail to grasp all your naughty bits that seem to have found it in their will to sprout again. I did what the gardening center man said I should do to you, threw you into a roadside ditch, where he promised no one would spy your flames, where no drive-by audience would bother to ogle those baubles you call petals. To think I used to serve you up in the vase I place at the center of my table, loving how you managed to dial up suns in nowhere zones. To think I used to eat breakfast within inches of your scent, speckled and tigery breathed. But I've smoked so long, I can no longer feel the effect of your musk breath, and I can eat the color orange in an egg, and eat any man's peculiar stare by closing my eye on it like a mouth. The most interesting thing about Ted Bundy, in my opinion, is that he was so boring, journalists came to dread talking to him. This next poem is called Violets. The way some people are about weeds, I'm not as forgiving. I see a weed and could will a knife out my eyes to gouge its root. It has no place in my garden, which means it can go anywhere it likes, but it'd be better off counting this flower bed out. I love to think while weeding, and I do so meticulously. I think of everyone who has ever crossed me. I cross the sea of ex-husbands. I reimagine my dowry and regard suitors once worthy who are now shackled to others. Why, I wonder, was I so cruel as I jabbed the trowel in deeper, press fingers along the root's length to be certain I've got it all, that it'll never come back. I tossed a tangle out onto the tarry drive to bake distant from its source. There's our glad friend the dandelion, which my daughter so sweetly hands me, which I see as an evil star with jagged fronds outspread exactly where I don't want, which is everywhere. I'm almost fond of that plant, though I'll never consider eating its greens. Let's not pretend. Compared to how I feel about violets, so grotesque with their rhizomes that are sometimes larger than the as yet unrealized ambitions of their leaves. Violets are possessed of a skank sneakiness that, after reading about it and then taking apart the plant to fully examine it, recognize its design, stunned me. The sprightly purple of its face masquerades as propagator, while ghostly droplets of seeds flourish beneath the umbrellas of leaves, so close to the earth they are practically buried, nursing the soil with their paleness. It's pure Hades. My love said, standing at the kitchen sink, "Why does it seem you want to destroy every plant I love? First it's violets, now daylilies. How could I have known they're strange? Their orange, their staggered roadside stems reminded him of his dead friend, signaling the ghost memory of them whitewater rafting in the Allagash. He was aghast. But how did the two connect? I'm not sure. This friend poured himself down a sink, departing into the underworld, his last guided trip down the sweet lethe. They call them ditch lilies, which is where I threw them. Must I sacrifice my aesthetics for sentiment? You think I discriminate. I admit that so many tubers, the nubby handfuls of them, along with their audacity to grow anywhere, got to me. I began to think it gross. In my defense, we had a hard winter. How many of the flowers I planted will I see again? No matter. I refuse to beg them to turn their faces toward the sun. I myself have lost almost everyone. Some plants I'd plant again, others I'd forgo. I don't know. Whisper greeny nudges to plants you love all you like. Say, it's safe to come out now. That's not true. That's not true at all. Give me a break. Thank you.
Well, I have to admit, we've never had anyone on before that I kind of had to like interrogate my centerpiece and think, am I going to in some way offend our reader? I'm, really kind of going through this carefully to make, I'm with new eyes too. I like, look at those fuckers, They don't have it in for me. Do I have any parking lot perennials fresh at like dead center on the dining room table? Damn. Anyway, no, very, very fun stuff. Very fun stuff. Thank you so much, Kate.
Yeah, thank you. I was actually, I was like I said, I was in my yard this evening and I was like, oh, it's starting again. I dug up a bush right before the reading because I didn't like it. And that's
I thought there for a minute, Kate, that the pollen had taken you out as an act of revenge.
It has. That's part of the battle, right? I was starting to cough, and I was like, "Great!" Now it's like the plants are like, "Fuck you, Cate Marvin."
Exactly.
We're gonna kill you. Yeah. It truly is a battle.
I really love this work. I love that you call violets grotesque. You have to be one of the only people I know that would call violet grotesque, and I love that. I love that.
Have you
Um,
dug them up? I mean, have you actually tried to get rid of violets? Because they are disgusting. I mean, they're really weird. If you look at the bottom,
no,
just pull one up. They have these weird white, like sort of flowers that are that are, they're like sneaky flowers. They're really weird. And they
no.
have huge tubers, like these huge things. Yeah, they're intense.
I've had intense fights with Rose of Sharon. Have you ever tried to
Mm.
uproot that? It's beautiful for about I don't know, a 2-month period, maybe. And after that, it looks like, driftwood in your backyard. So I can appreciate that. And taking it out by the roots, you have to dig with a shovel down deep to get it out, or it'll just grow back.
Now I have to ask, Kate, is there a poem in this new book in which Joe Pyeweed gets hits?
Yes, Joe Pyeweed does get hits.
I thought so.
Yeah, you know that. Did you know that?
I just was curious. I figured if I'm making a damn list.
I have like my poem about Adam Zajewski. I have an elegy for him that it opens with looking at Joe Pyeweed. I was looking at it like online. It opens with sort of contemplating like, oh, this is a plant I want to buy. This is a plant I want in my yard. And so, yeah, I don't know if you just like read that poem online and you're being,
No, it's the only. It's
out
actually
or something like
it's the only.
that.
plant I
Yeah,
have.
no, it's like I really like that Joe Pyeweed is the first line of one of this poem called Blue. I really like that Joe Pyeweed.
Well, it turns out that's one of the few plants that he knows. That's why he
Well,
brought it.
I'm rewilding my yard, and that's one reason why I was getting rid of this plant, because I talked to this landscaper I'm working with who's helping me like return everything to native species. So he was like, yeah, that can go. And he was just like, you're going to save a lot of money digging these things up yourself. So I was like, why not dig it up right now? Feels great.
Well, when you were talking about that, it reminded me of a therapist I had once who said, the best thing you could do to feel better, Christina, is to go out into the forest and start ripping out everything that you can get your hands on. The vines hanging from the trees, the saplings, just rip them out. Just walk through, rip them out. And I was like, oh, I could never do that, but I might have been inspired tonight.
Is this why you're banned
Well,
from the?
do you have any multiflora rose on your property? Because that's like the
No, I hate
multiflora rose. That's an invasive species that I'm trying to get rid of.
Yes,
And I spent a good hour tonight dragging attacking multiflora rose.
it's worse than kudzu in terms of its invasive pervasiveness.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
intense stuff.
Yeah, I'm worried. I feel like if we ever get another Republican administration, they're going to like deport you to Peru as part of the coca eradication efforts.
Yeah, I'll be spending a lot of time with it this summer.
Oh, I'm so glad that you came on the show. So were you going to be out there promoting your book? Are you doing some readings since it just came out?
Can you? Are you going to be doing some readings, Kate?
Well, I'm doing a reading. I have a reading launch in Portland, Maine.
Oh,
Is
cool,
my
cool.
connection okay?
I
like
think it might be
not
Christina.
be.
It might be me because we have a storm here right now.
One of our regular readers, Rusty Barnes, is saying great reading. It actually might be Kate because she looks to be frozen.
She does look to be frozen.
I think we should say thank you so much, Rusty, for chiming in, and thank you, Kate, for an amazing reading. I will never look at my local flora quite the same way ever again.
That's absolutely for sure. So we've got a few new readers next week, and we will catch up with Oh no, we just have one. I'm sorry. I was looking at something and it distracted me. I'm looking at the rain coming down. So we will see everybody next week. And thank you, Kate,
for tuning in.
Good night.
Oh wait, Kate's no.
Wait, no, Kate's back.
No, well, I don't know.
I'm here.
You're back.
What the hell? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
That's spectrum for you. So you were asking me, my computer switched to my iPhone to like go online. So thank God, because apparently my internet went out. You were asking me if I'm promoting my book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay.
Where can
So
people see you read? Yes.
yeah. So basically, I am doing a launch in Portland, Maine on Thursday, the 2nd of June and I have Betsy Scholl and Myron Hardy are reading with me. So that's like we're gonna have food and drink and stuff like that. So I hope that will be fun. As far as other readings, I really haven't started planning them. I know it's really bad, but I have a kid, and so I'm like, how am I gonna leave the house?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Your
Yep.
kid hasn't seen you give the same reading like 60 times?
No.
Oh.
My kid was exposed as a baby to a lot of readings, and then I don't know. Then I stopped doing that to them. They told me tonight that they don't really like poetry, and I was like, "Gee, thanks." Thanks for that.
But they are a very good artist, especially
They
Cat.
are, yeah. They'll get into poetry. They actually write very good poems. So
All right. Well,
Kate.
thanks again, Kate, for coming on. We really appreciate it.
All
yeah,
right.
thanks for having me.
See
Great.
everybody next week. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. Thank you.